Don't miss any content. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
The Ghana Black Stars, the pride of the nation, the one embodiment Ghanaians can rally behind in unity, the hope of a footballing nation. Over the years, the Ghana Black Stars brought some highs and lows to the nation. But how did this team come about? What is the origin of the Black Stars? Today we're going to look into that and see why the Black Stars is adored by the people of Ghana so much. As usual, if you're new to the channel, I advise you to subscribe to the channel and to click on the notification bell to get more updates. This video is based on an article by Fifi Anaman. I'll leave a link to the article in the description. Ghana has been a footballing nation even throughout its colonial years. Now in 1951, Ghana, then known as the Gold Coast, sent its Gold Coast 11 on tour in the UK. The team was without a coach and the players played barefoot. They lost 8 of the 10 games they played in the tournament, yet some of them made an indelible impression. James Ajay in particular was reportedly described by a commentator as a player who, all things being equal, could hold his own among the best forwards in England. CK Jemfi, top goal scorer of the team in the tournament, was nicknamed Cheeky Charlie for his clever dribbling and body swerving skills. Jemfi would go on to be a great coach for the Black Stars, but that's later in this story. So it was clear that Ghana had footballing talent even at that stage. The fact that Ghanaian footballers were predominantly gifted was a given, but talent alone was not going to cut it or guarantee success, though it would make it easier to achieve that. That is what Ghanaian footballers needed: processing of the raw talent into a winning currency. That, however, didn't happen until 1957, when Sir Stanley Matthews, invited by Heart of Folk to tour, ended up having a lot of exhibition and clinics to hone talents before he recommended more of such exhibitions. And Ohenejan, head of the Ghana Amateur Football Association, which would later on be known as the Ghana Football Association, obliged. He took that into consideration and began the search for the first Black Stars coach. Ohenejan settled on George Edward Ainsley. He was recommended by EFK Epton, an official at the Ghana High Commission in London. Ainsley, 42 at the time, spent close to 20 years as a footballer, playing for Sunderland, Bolton and Elite United. He was the chief FA staff coach after earning his coaching badges. Ghana had struck gold securing his services, as he had been described by the FIFA president Sir Stanley Matthews as the most experienced coach in Britain. Let's take a side step and look at the man responsible for this appointment, Ohenejan. Now, Ohenejan had taken it upon himself to transform Ghana football and turn talent into trophies. Jan, 33 at the time, exuded so much vigor. At the time, his regime was called the Reformation. Pre-Ohenejan, football wasn't taken seriously, but Jan sought to put that right. After all, at the time, football was the least of the worries of Ghanaians as they fought for independence from colonial rules. In those times, there were no coaches, no national leagues, and players played barefooted without boots. After independence, Chan and Nkrumah constituted a duo who shared friendship and chemistry. Always remember that organization decides everything, Nkrumah told Chan as he began his Gaffer reign. "You have my full support," he assured him. So Jan had the full support of Kwame Nkrumah in appointing Ainsley, who earned £2,000 per annum tax-free. He arrived in March 1958, was given a car and annual outfit allowance of £70, a furnished bungalow in Accra, but he was hardly in that bungalow, always being put to work by Ohenejan mostly across the country, scouting talents and train them for the national team. After watching an FA Cup final between Kotoko and Hearts at the Accra Sports Stadium, Ainsley had this to say: "The potential of standard of Ghana soccer is tremendous, but much work remains to be done in learning the major techniques and skills of the craft in general." his focus became the sharpening of the skills and techniques of the Ghanaian footballer. He trained them really hard, but unfortunately Ainsley did not last long. He lasted 8 of the 18 months he was supposed to last, falling out with a difficult and demanding Ohene Jan over salary issues. Jan, eager for progress, found his replacement in Erik Andrea Joberg, a Swedish coach, former footballer and ski jumper. He was a specialist in fitness and stamina to bring the stamina needed for a grueling football game. He felt training period of about 8 to 10 weeks was extremely necessary to develop the heart and the respiratory organs, the main organs which according to him were used when playing football. A boot camp where he took the players through a mountain and marathon expedition was his method. He really worked them military style. Over time, stamina was built. It became Ghana's weapon, but over his reign, it became clear that stamina alone wasn't enough. A clear strategy was needed. But before that change could be made, and before the appointment of Hungarian Joseph Emba, Ohene Jan, after a humiliating defeat to Fortuna Düsseldorf in the reign of Joberg, decided that the Black Stars needed a real shaking up. After that humiliating defeat, Jan sought to dismantle and rename the team, which had evolved from Gold Coast 11 to Ghana 11 after independence. He wanted a name that would be symbolic of Ghana's identity, one that would make the country stand out. Eventually, Black Stars was settled upon because, according to Jan, in the center of the national flag of Ghana is a black star, symbolic of the rising spirit of Black Africa. 8 days after that demolition by Fortuna Düsseldorf, Jan announced the Black Star Group. The team was based in Nsawam, where Jan lived with Andrea Joberg in charge at the time. Only the best were allowed, as high standards were set. Performances of the players were always under review. Those lagging and not performing would be replaced by eager talent waiting on the fringes. Jan said the Black Stars was built on discipline, dedication and devotion, the highest group of distinction to which the best players in Ghana, that is, could aspire. Ghana were looking to qualify for the Olympic Games under Joberg. Jan sorted out FIFA and CAF affiliation by 1958 and felt that Ghana needed to venture into the world of competitive football. Unfortunately, Joberg failed to qualify for the Olympics in a group with Nigeria and Egypt. He did, however, manage to win the Maiden Nkrumah Gold Cup in 1960 before he left. His replacement was Joseph Emba. Emba arrived in April 1960, signing an 18-month deal to build on technique and stamina. But why was Emba brought in the first place? What was so special about him? Well, to put it simply, he was poached from Slovian Bratislava, a team that had beaten Ghana, all Ghanaian opposition, whilst they were on tour in the country, and condemned their faulty tactics. Jan approached him and offered him the job while he was in the country. At that same time, the Hungarian was much respected, holding a master certificate, the highest coaching certification in Hungary. At the time, Hungary was a football behemoth. They emerged as the world's leading football nation, conquering all that stood in their path. They lost only a single match in 50 matches from 1950 to 1956. That single match, unfortunately for them, was a 1954 World Cup final versus Germany in Switzerland. Most of the players in that iconic team were coached by Emba at youth level. In Emba, Jan found a man who could inject Hungarian DNA into Ghanaian footballing DNA, and that was what Jan really was looking to do for Ghana football. It was similar at that time to how Brazil is the standard of football. That Hungarian team, consisting of Ferenc Puskás, who the famous Puskas Award has been named after, beat England, the thought originators of the game of football, home and away, 7-1 in Hungary and 5-3. Jan had found his man. 4 months after Joseph Ember was in town, after Joburg had left, to make the durability count. He had come to transform the Black Stars into a team that would rule the continent and be known globally. I realized that Ghana side was a potential force, Ember said in his press conference. And in talks with the energetic association chairman Mr. Ohenejan, I promised to come to this new nation and do my best to develop Ghana football and at least bring Ghana soccer to its first class standard. And he had come well equipped. The Hungarian style had been considered by many to be the precursor of the total football system employed by the legendary Dutch coach Rinus Michels in stints with Ajax and Netherlands in the 1970s and 80s. So that is the end of part 1 of the formation of the Ghana Black Stars. I'll see you guys for the part 2 later on, and hope you enjoyed the opening part.